Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second episode of Tape Talk, where we just do a live breakdown of a game or a unit or a player that you guys vote on in the polls on my Instagram, which I will have linked to this video at the bottom. So this way you can always check in. Poll usually goes out on Tuesdays with results on Wednesdays. And that's how we're going to roll with it for the most part. We might change it up week to week if there's something I want to talk about. But again, kind of a work in progress for figuring this out. And to help me figure it out, I have the great Matt over here on the right side. Is it St. John or St. Jean?
Look, I'll respond to either, but St. Jean technically.
St. Jean. That's what I figured, but I was like, it's probably one of those weird French things. But Matt is a good friend of mine. We've gotten to know each other over the past several years through NFL draft coverage and just, football media, analytics, everything like that. Matt, feel free to give a little brief overview about yourself and anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah, I do coverage. I write a little over at Pat's Pulpit for SB Nation, and I have a podcast on the CLNS network with Pat Lane. The Pat's Nation Network show is ours, so we do 2 shows a week talking about the Patriots. And long-time football X's and O's guys. I love breaking it down. And this Falcons-Bills game we're going to get into is one I was very intrigued by. I think this Atlanta defense is one like they've had the same issue, I feel like, for like 2 decades now of just not having a pass rush, and they just keep trying to fix it. And this year, you draft 2 guys high in the first round. I think were they both first rounders?
Yeah, they were both first round picks.
Yeah, to try to fix it, and then you have a big defensive game against reigning MVP on prime time. So excited to get into the details here.
And let's get right into it. First play. And like I said, this is all going to be live, just seeing our reaction. And for the viewers at home, this is mainly going to be a defensive breakdown. We might get into offense a little bit just to see how they're playing against the schemes here. But first play here looks like they're in their base. Looks like 5-1-5, really 3-3-5 with the 2 walk-ups. But deep shot to Palmer right away. This was a huge play to open up for this Bills offense after they marched down on them. So let's see exactly what happens.
Yeah, it's also Palmer and interesting that he goes out with an injury later in this one. So
yeah, he took a nasty fall.
It looks like no safety deep on that.
Yeah, I wonder if this was 3 match and Bates just bit on the under route. That's not Bates. Who is that?
31.
Xavier Watts.
Xavier Watts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he calls it out too that he's jumping the over. They just don't do a good enough job of passing that off. I was wondering if that's 3 match. Is there a world where this isn't some kind of like 6? Is it just with where 31's lined up? It almost makes me think it's quarters to that side.
Yeah, he's really shallow. I mean, so are these 2. They might be even bracketing this inside out. So let's see. So you get a block release here. Okay. So you got pressure. I think they're trying to run some kind of stunt in the middle with outside contain. Let's see.
Definitely some kind of match coverage, but this might be some designer stuff.
Yeah, and I think they're bringing him off the edge. So this is bizarre. Okay. So this is what?
This isn't some kind of cover 1, is it? Where 31's just abandoning the deep thing? Because I almost see some man coverage there, but then no one on the tight end, so that's not man. I mean, this has to be a match coverage, right?
Has to be match just based on the rules. I wonder if I believe that was Floyd at the top. I wonder if he was supposed to stick with him if he released, but saw him block, so he went. That might be the only reason why I think it might be true man. But with Bates biting down, I don't know why they would have virtually shallow safeties here. And let me clear this out so this way everyone can see.
This is one of those, I think if we were going to do a deeper film study on it, we'd watch a couple of Bills games coming into it to see if this is something that, if they like to throw this over route early in games, maybe Atlanta's just saying, hey, we think this is coming and we're going to draw something up to take that route away.
I wonder if that's the case. Here's what else I'm wondering. I don't think it's matched because look where Caden Ellis is at. Unless his match is with the running back, they're bringing 5. So here, they're running the stunt here on the inside and Walker's on the edge. I'm wondering if they're running like a 3-fire zone match, which would be really bizarre.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Or is
Because
this just a weird version of cover zero where it's a 5-man rush and like 31 here is I don't even know how to explain that with the cover zero.
the only reason I don't think it's cover zero is because all their eyes come to where the flow of the routes are going with the stop,
Yeah.
and then you have the post. Like they're ignoring this guy completely.
Yeah, it has to be match. I've just never seen a match with rules like this. So, somebody must have made a mistake.
I think Watts is the one that made the mistake. I think his eyes just got lost in the sun. And look, he's a rookie, right? Like that's gonna happen.
Third round pick.
Exactly. But still was fairly decent at his time in Texas. Let's see what it looks like from down here.
He was Notre Dame, but
Oh, he was Notre Dame? Who am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Oh, Makuba. Silly me.
Yeah.
They had a couple of guys. They had two, right? Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
and it's when you look at something like this too, any kind of shot play where you're bringing a rush, you need the rush to get home. And I think one of the issues, play like that, when you're playing that deep coverage, you also, if you know there's a rush, you might be squatting a little bit underneath, thinking the ball is coming out faster.
Mhm.
And if the rush doesn't get there, you're not going to have leverage to cover something deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is just straight up inside run. Good stuff on the inside. Is that Ruke on the stop or Rook? Oh no, it was Anyamata on the run stunt.
Yeah.
Love that. This is
I want to
sweet.
see this from the end. I want to see this from the end zone.
So we get the stunt here. He checks up and comes over. Let me redraw that. Checks up and comes over. He's holding the edge. He's holding the edge. Let's see if they bring any of the backers on this. Nope. They're all just sitting. Beautiful play.
And that's at a too high, but the safeties are relatively shallow for too high.
Yep.
And you still feel good, I think, with your numbers in the box here, regardless.
And I think this might have just been scouting by them. They probably didn't feel like anyone could take the top off them. So they're playing downhill to help with the run fit because this is what the Bills excel at is the run game.
And James Cook has been so good so far this year. It's what has made the Bills' offense so dangerous is that you have to take away the run, and if you have to take away the run, that gives so much more to Josh Allen.
Yep, exactly. So this is a really good stunt here on the inside.
Yeah,
backers eat up the tackles. Boom. That's just a really high quality play by a veteran. Nice. All right, let's see what's next. So we got 2nd and 6 near the red zone. So just got a little flood concept, and Allen sees nothing and gets out of it. Okay. So let's see
what makes Josh Allen so dangerous right there.
Yep, exactly. So you're going to get this flood concept where Coleman's going to run. I think he runs to shallow. We're going to get a flag from here. And probably some spot or a flat, one of the two, depending on what the defense does. So defensively, this looks like quarters match. Just based on how they're all dropping. Yeah. And Terrell's not going to bail for the quarter like we see in traditional quarters. He's going to stay low to cut off anything underneath.
And then you look at the backside safety there. That's a tough play for him when the receiver's starting to cross his face, and that's a good job by, I'm not sure who that is, dropping underneath the crosser there to take that away.
This right here, I think this is Diablo. Yeah. He had a really good game from what I remember, from what I saw live.
Yeah, that is Divine Diablo. That's a nice play. And it's tough to have a play as well covered as that one is, and you're still giving up a first down on it.
Yep, exactly. So for the people watching at home, we're talking a lot about match and quarters and yada, yada, yada. Essentially, when we're talking about cover 4, traditionally, it means 4 defenders over the top. Could be any mix of defenders, but typically 2 safeties and 2 corners. And then underneath, you have a hook player in the middle. And then you have your 2 flats on the outside. So it leaves a lot of space underneath, and teams pick this apart. So an adjustment that's been made and has become incredibly popular in the NFL, especially recently, is something called match, where it's zone until it's man coverage. And essentially it's once a player crosses your area, depending on your rules, you pick them up. And something we talk about all the time is there's mod coverage, there's meg coverage, specifically for quarters match, right? And mod, all that means is man out and deep. So if your man goes out or he goes deep, you pick him up. And meg is man everywhere he goes. So if they were in meg, and I believe this is this Mike Hughes? Yeah. So if Mike Hughes is here, and let's say they were in meg and he drags, he immediately goes to it, even though he has that deep quarter of the field. So just wanted to go ahead.
Well, then to take it from the offense's perspective, for cover 4, can you draw the part of that diagram again? Just the bottom. Yeah, just those two in the linebacker underneath.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll notice, like, to the near side of the field here, you're going to have 2 defenders deep and 1 defender shallow. This passing concept has, on all in one area of the field, a receiver deep, a receiver intermediate, and a receiver shallow. Mm-hmm. Numbers-wise, you don't have guys lined up in all those spots. So in theory, this should get that intermediate route open. So in this match version of cover 4, you need a defender who can pick up that intermediate route and take it away. You need some quick recognition on that, which the Falcons do have here. It's just in the process, it pulls your guys out of the middle of the field, and that's where Josh Allen's able to take advantage of it. So I'm curious when we get to the end zone view of this, how the pass rush is going to look, because that's when the onus, defensively, you need to be able to marry your coverages with your pass rushes. So
exactly.
This is where you need the rush to finish the play that the coverage has kind of made on the back end.
And I'm wondering what happened with Caden Ellis. I wonder if his eyes got stuck on an 85 here and saw him kind of sit, and then maybe he had a check release, which pulled him out. And then Diablo leaving with the crosser, and then D. Alford sitting underneath is what caused that middle to open up so much. Let's see what happens. Oh, Caden bails. Interesting.
Is that and that's a 4-man rush? Yeah, so they're playing that more as like a hook curl zone than a flat zone.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is interesting.
Let's see it from here. Because Caden there's nothing really threatening his outside except that checkup from Cook.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can we go back? I want to focus on the line here.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Let me go back. You want to go back to that end zone view?
If we can, just one more time. I want to see.
Come on. NFL Pro is still a work in progress. But it's worth it.
Great. Yeah, very good product. Still some bugs.
Yeah. So let's see.
So 4-man rush. And there's going to be a lot of guys in protection here, which I think, when
it's 6 on 4.
Yeah. And then you add in a little motion there, and you add in the half roll from the quarterback. It's a lot. 98. That's Aroro.
Yep. However you say his last name, Ohoro.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough spot for him to be in.
Yep. All right. So let's see. So they trade from. See, this is where it gets really interesting. They trade from 3 tight ends to one side. Technically, it's a fullback, but we'll treat it as a tight end because that's where he's lined up. And then they motion to trips on the other side, but now it's receiver, H-back, let's call it that, and then another tight end. Right, so let's see. There's a lot of space over here. I wonder if they're going to blitz or stunt to it. And this is
when you
first
see the safety
10.
Start to come down towards that.
Yeah, started to roll down.
And I think Cook is kind of aware of that space because he pretty quickly starts to cut back towards that.
Let's see. As soon as he gets the ball, he immediately darts back the other way.
Which part of that's going to be, I'm sure we see on that end zone view that play side, the B. I'm not sure if it's the A gap or the B gap, closes pretty quickly.
Yeah, let's see. That's the B gap.
Yeah, there's nothing doing on the front side of that anyway. They've taken that away.
Exactly.
And you have the numbers on the backside. 41 just can't make a block there.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking a fullback who's more of a receiving fullback and utility guy to do this. Let's see. They don't even stunt. They just run it straight up. The Caden blitz on this?
Well, I do think it's notable that, like, if we pause for 1 second, play
Yep.
1 of this game is the Bills come out with an over route that the Falcons seem to be jumping on. And now play 3 of this game, the Falcons leaning run heavy to one side of the formation, and the Bills trying to run in that direction anyway. So just from a scouting perspective, I do wonder if there's something going on there that, Falcons are picking up on something and they're calling, like they think the Bills are going to run these plays.
Yeah, no, and that's just great. Like, this just looks like great scouting to be able to overload your and this is a team that's run on everybody, right? And typically teams that are good at running on everybody are going to be able to exploit when you're leaving. Like, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so typically you're going to have 6 and 5, right? 6 to the strength, 5 away. But the strength flips because now you have 3 over here and they leave 5 on the backside or to the strength. And now you have 6 to the backside. So I'm wondering if they knew they like flipping from heavy, strong formations, flipping them to the backside or what is pre-snap backside, and then defenses have adjusted to it. So I'm wondering if the Falcons like, no, we're not going to adjust. We're just going to stick with it. Again, we got to watch more.
When it's a 4-man front and it is still technically an over front, it's just the surface gets spread so wide to one side by the extra tight ends that even though it's an over front to the strong side there, there's still a massive hole. You see that right there, the motion.
They shift it.
Look how far that, like, the edge defender there on the right side, he's at the hash there. And then after the motion, look how far outside he moves. Yeah, you managed to move him 4 or 5 yards. Not 5, 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, so is this I think they're just running an under front to this because if they're an under at first.
Oh, so are we? I think this depends on which guys we're saying are in the front for this, because I wasn't sure if the guy on the left there was in it. Yeah,
Pierce, I would say it's a 5-man front, and they're running it as an under.
Yeah, you're correct. I didn't realize that was Pierce. I thought this was 4-man.
That's fine. No worries.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They change it up between 4-man and 5-man or even 3-man all the time.
Yeah, can I give a shout out here real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
The nose on this who shaded, I believe that's Sam Roberts.
Yes.
Who was originally made it into the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Patriots.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. In 2022. Yeah. Or not undrafted. He was like a 7th round pick, I think.
Something like that. Not good play by him to steer it back the other way.
Really good play.
Sweet. All right. This looks like it's going to be offensive holding, so we may not. I just want to see what happens. Yeah, they just run the missile screen. We didn't have to super dissect this because there was a holding call, but yeah, a lot of what teams are doing in the NFL is doing this cheat motion where they zip him back outside, or they just take him from here. Let's say the split was a little wider and it was out here per se. They would zip him out right away to get that speed. But this is just a different way to run it. So.
And I do think a lot of that also depends, like how you do your motions depends on what the quarterback likes and like how they want to receive information pre-snap.
Yep.
Quarterbacks can be particular about, just what they want.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's check end zone. Especially the best QBs, they're very particular about what they like and you saw with Aaron Rodgers last night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see.
I don't even know who the holding penalty was on.
It was on Shavers.
Shavers, yeah. 14?
Yeah. You'll see it
yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's all
his business, bro.
We found it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. All right. So 2nd and 18 now. You were just in the red zone. Now you're back out. What's the play call? So they go quads.
Yeah, that's very popular right now, is to put 4 guys on one side just because you get information that way. This looks like match 3.
Yep. And they do a little mug bail look with this. So you're going to see Diablo walk up and then bail out after the ball is snapped. And I believe they drop him and Caden comes outside. I'm not positive. Let me see.
Is this a sim pressure?
Yeah, it's a sim. For those at home, sim pressure just means simulated pressure. And the goal is like, let's say Pierce, we wanted to get Deion Dawkins going back into his pass set to open up the inside. Pierce would step up to get him to kick set and then would bail out. And then a blitzer would come behind or someone would stunt underneath where that big hole in the pass protection was just made.
Yeah.
And then you, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, just to like throw some definitions on it too, like the typical rush is going to be 3 or 4 men, and then a blitz is once you're adding any 5th man into the rush typically, and then a sim pressure means it's going to be 4, just not the 4 you would typically identify before.
Yeah, because if we're thinking about the traditional 4, it's this end, this tackle, right? But that may not be the case depending on what happens on this play. So Diablo is going to sim. You're going to see him right here in the middle, okay? And then he's going to bail as soon as he realizes this is a pass. Oh, they just bring 3.
Yeah. So it's actually, that looks like a sim pressure and Diablo drops out of it.
Yeah. I think, I wonder if
it's a fake sim. It's a fake sim is what it is.
That's hilarious.
Well, and I also think in a game like this, if you're going against someone like Josh Allen, you might run something like this because now Diablo, who's number 0 there in the middle, is in position to be your QB spy. So you can run something like this. It's going to look funky, and like you get a one-on-one matchup that a pass rusher ends up winning out of this, despite the fact that you're only rushing 3 guys because of the design you bring. Yep. You can still play traditional like match cover 3 on the back end and have a QB spy on the quarterback out of all of that stuff.
Yep. So that's the exact reason why they run this is look at these 2 standing, blocking no one. And now instead of this guy helping him, and then a one-on-one elsewhere, now it's 3 one-on-ones. Someone's going to win.
And you've got 3 one-on-ones with 8 in coverage. Like that's, if you've got the horses, then you're going to be able to really make that work. That's a difficult position to put an offense in.
Yep. And if they were running traditional cover 3 with 8 men dropping, you would have 3 over the top, 5 underneath, 5 in the mid hook, mid curl zones, and then you have 2 guys in the flats.
I think that safety might be dropping in the outside corner, might be the deep third. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay. And so we can carry this. Yep. Yeah. Perfect. So that's, and there's, like we said, there's different ways to run cover 3. So Bates is going to drop down. Terrell's going to bail. Hughes bails. Watts bails. D. Alford's going to sit outside. Diablo's going to check, go back. Pierce is going to drop. Again, this is why we run sim pressures. Typically a pass rusher, athletic enough to get in coverage, and then Kanan's going to do the same thing. He's going to walk up and then drop. And they do this. So let's say they run this ball, right? Let's say they run it, and Cook comes here, or Josh Allen runs it for whatever reason. Now you have, and I'll change the color. If this is run, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the run fit against 5 blockers. You're getting a TFL unless someone breaks a tackle in the backfield.
Also, no one's more than 10 yards down the field. And then worth noting the situation here, it's 2nd and 18. Yeah. So, you don't think there's going to be a run. And if there's a run, you feel like you have some real wiggle room to bring them down and still be in a good position on 3rd down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And look, 2nd and 18, they got 8 yards on that? 5 yards maybe?
5, yeah. So it's up a 3rd and 13.
Yeah. And if we see this from... Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's 90 there who's lined up between the center and the right guard.
Yep, that's on Yamada.
Yeah, he ends up getting the pressure here to force the scramble, and they rally to the ball.
Yep. This is a great call at this moment. And again, if we want to talk about scouting, I wonder if they see shallow crossing routes and mesh routes often on 2nd and long, just get a chunk play and try to get close. And that's why they ran that sim pressure.
Well, and that's something you see in the NFL a lot anyway. If you're in 2nd and long, you're not trying to get all of it most of the time. You're just trying to get part of it and set yourself up with a competitive 3rd down where something on the play sheet might work.
Yep, exactly. So now this is a weird variation of empty. A lot more teams running this, and the Falcons ran this a ton, where the running back, instead of being next to the quarterback or behind, splits out where a slot receiver would be, but is now 5 yards off the ball instead of 2 or 3. And if he was on, obviously he'd be on, right? So let's see how the Falcons adjust to this. So it looks like they're 4. Again, they dropped to 3. Yep.
And the safety is that Xavier Woods again?
Yeah, it was Watts.
Xavier Watts, sorry. Yeah, Watts just doesn't. He's got single high, and he just doesn't recognize that guy's crossing his face.
Yep. And what a lot of people talk about, like when they're talking about cover 2 or 2 high safeties killing the game, it's just 2 high shells, right? Like I know they're offset by a yard, but this is technically, I would consider this 2 high, seeing where they're at right now.
And hold on, can we, before we pull it forward, can you diagram just like the shell of the cover 3 real quick?
Yeah. So
just the safeties in the corners.
Yeah, so Watts is going to rotate back. Bates is going to come down and play mid hook, and then these 2 got outside. And his rule over here, Terrell's rule is, yes, he's technically split out, but that's not his responsibility. He's going to treat this as man-to-man coverage because we're going to treat this as trips, and he's the ISO man. So wherever he goes, he's going to go with him.
But I think the thing that stands out to me here, because you're showing a disguise, you're showing 2 high, you're going to rotate into single high. Now, this route that scores the touchdown here, you want to draw that real quick, the tight end?
Yeah. So what's he going to run? Just the deep over this way? Here,
let me actually clear that out. And you're going to see the leverage advantage already just from that diagram that the tight end is going to have here, because typically when you run this route, if you're not disguising, that free safety is already in the middle of the field, and he's 5 steps closer to where that tight end wants to end up, and he's able to cut that off and take it away. Here, the safety has to drop back and play that middle of the field, so he has to kind of naturally move away from where that route is going. He has to get that depth first, which gives the tight end a step or 2 here. And, you got a good quarterback and a good tight end and a rookie safety who's not going to react as quickly. That's how you get a touchdown out of it.
And knowing Dawson Knox, he's probably going to widen this out to try to pull him this way and then break in once he gets him going sideways instead of taking a straight drop. So we take this step by step. He's going to stem. Oh, he just goes right to it.
Yeah, it's just he's out loud because 31 has to cover a lot of ground there from a disguised spot, and like you just can't. If he's starting in the middle of the field, I don't think Josh Allen makes this throw. I think this ends up being covered.
Yeah.
And then I would also I would ask you number 3, Jesse Bates, who's the backside safety who's dropping in. If this were some kind of a match coverage, like if this were a cover 4 match, which is almost what it looks like pre-snap, he would be watching the tight end coming across to look for it, to be in position to take it away. But because this looks like just country cover 3, he's going to come down under that route, and that creates that space over the top.
Yeah, I'm wondering why he does. And even if he did, right, like let's say his responsibility is here and it's match, like Caden Ellis is sitting with this route here, right? And I know he's spotting up, but if he breaks in, I'm wondering if Bates' responsibility is to take anything underneath, which looks like that's what it is. Yeah. But if it's not and it's match, because everyone else is running match.
I don't think everyone else is running match. I think
this is just regular cover 3, right?
Yeah, this is country cover 3. So that's just When I think also you have to be aware here that like you assume that a route like that, the free safety is going to be on your single high guy there, and Bates also has to be very aware of the fact that Josh Allen is a runner, and if he vacates that space and backs up to try to take the seam route or the over route from the tight end away, Allen might be able to pick this up with his legs, even with the guys there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice. Solid stuff there. We're going to skip through all of this because I think there's special team stuff coming up, which for the listeners at home that are special team nuts like myself and Matt, there will be special teams tape at some point during this series, during the season. Might be a special guest for that one. Won't elaborate, but we'll see it happen, hopefully. All right, so let's see.
And then
so now they're
7 tied up mid first quarter, 1st and 10. Okay.
Yeah. Play action flood. Nice play by Diablo here. Gets beat, but keeps his hands up and finds where the ball is. Okay, so let's see what the front does. So it looks like a 4-man rush. Ebiketie bails out after he realizes his guy's not going. Okay, so down here at the bottom. So you're going to get these guys going, and then once Ebiketie realizes that his guy's in the route or he's going to release, he bails. Okay, so let's see what the rest of the coverage does. Just cover 3, it looks like, right?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because 3 kind of gets sucked down by the run action here.
Yeah.
But this is
play.
You go back to the that last possession we talked about, the flood concept, where you're getting 3 routes at 3 levels all on the same side of the field. So this is the same thing from a different look. The back's going to release into the flat, and the run action here you're hoping is going to keep defenders in the middle of the field to get sucked up by it. And you're hoping then that that's going to create the space on the outside. And, really, they do kind of get this route. Diablo just makes a heck of a play to recover and get himself back in it. Right there, this should be an easy completion.
Yeah. I wonder if he wasn't sure if Terrell would leave and try to come back down to it and Watts would carry the route. And so he's just trying to rifle this.
I think he also just doesn't think Diablo is going to be able to get back there for that. And even then, he's got his back to the play there. You still usually see that end up as a completion. You don't usually see the defender make a play on the ball there.
So let's see what everyone does here.
And he kind of, I am curious about Josh Allen's eyes there, because they do hover over the middle of the field right there, and I wonder if they, what's he looking for? Is he checking the safeties? Is he?
I would assume so.
Well, it could be that, but he could also be looking over the middle to try to hold linebackers who might think the route's over the middle. They might build in that for a second to try to hold guys to get that route open.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't doubt that that's the reason for it. That was just good. Again, good play by Diablo. That's just
really good.
You can't coach that. A guy to be able to catch up and throw a hand up.
Can't teach speed.
Nope.
And he was that's a free agent signing by Atlanta this offseason. He was in Vegas the last 4 years.
Yep. And then for the listeners at home or watchers at home, this is going to be return orbit. So orbit motion normally means someone comes from out here and he motions across behind the quarterback rather than in front. And orbit return just means he's going to be here and then he's going to either go back to the spot he was or just release to the flat right away.
Yeah. And with that pause, and this ends up being 4 strong too because of that. It's that side, so the right side of that quarterback, it's 4 of your 5 eligibles are over there.
3, 4.
And this
again,
Well, and this is, you go back a decade ago, 15 years ago in football, and what you were always trying to do was put guys in motion to figure out what coverage the other team is running. These days, defenses have gotten really good at still disguising what they're doing when someone goes in motion. And I feel like this is kind of the new meta for identifying coverages, is you just put 4 guys on one side, and it forces the defense to give you at least some information about what rules they're playing in coverage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's see how they adjust here. Let's go back to the top. Okay.
Yeah, this could be a lot of coverages.
This looks like man, just based on Alford, and that's why Allen tries to duck and run on it. Mm-hmm. Let's see does he even read this out? Who's he? Yeah, I wonder if he's just reading because he goes inside here. If he was sticking outside, I think he would probably give this to Cook.
Yeah.
But because he sees red and black and he sees Knox has the leverage, he looks to pull, to throw, but then he sees, he steps up. There's 3 guys here. I got to run it.
Yeah. And then one of the reasons this ends up being, win for the defense, you call this man free. That's going to be man coverage across the board, single high safety, and then you end up with 5 defenders in the rush. And just because you have that extra defender in the rush, I think is what ends up taking this away. There's just too much traffic there for the runner or the quarterback to navigate.
Yep. And in all reality, if Jalen Walker is not the player he is, Josh Allen's probably just going right up the side.
Yeah. But that's a good job to kind of continuously force him back. He tries to be with that play side, C gap or B gap, whoever it is, and he has to force it back a gap and force it back another gap. And then he ends up, this play, pause real quick. You got four eligibles to the right side. And no matter what, this play is going to the right side. And the guy who makes the tackle ends up being 17, who's your backside defensive end.
Yeah.
Because you end up good defense forces everything back to him, and then he makes the play.
Yep. Let's see this in slow-mo or just tap through. Again, so they bring a run blitz here. Okay. And this is just really good leverage by Rook, or Rook, however you say his name. And everyone else just rallies.
Was that on Yamada? It's hard to tell if it's 90 or 98 from
this
here.
This is 98. This is Rook. Yamada's here. I mean, this is against one of the strongest, biggest guards in the league, and he's just steering him with no problem at all. Like, helps when Osiris is standing straight up, but still
and he
really
tries to
fight.
get back. When he tries to get into that gap, but then it's just tough to change directions and build up speed to get into that hole. Because at the end of the day, what the play ends up being is a quarterback run with 5 blockers against 5 defenders, I think, really. And, it's just when that's your situation, it's going to come down to who executes on the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
There's no schematic advantage.
Which this whole game, the Falcons have been doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they bring 0. This is such a good play. It sucks that this didn't count. This is a really, really good adjustment by Shakir. So for the listeners at home, cover 0 just means it's manned coverage across the board and 6 guys are coming. The 0 represents no help over the top. Okay.
Well, there's one safety.
There is. So they got cover 1 here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was this another match? They brought 6. So what else could it have been?
Do they bring does the back stay in and you get an extra rusher because of it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh no,
yeah,
Walker.
That's where.
No, they bring 6.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so it's 6-man rush. I think this is a match coverage.
Yeah, because he's going to take this. Terrell's going to trail this. D's going to come down, and then we're going to get a bailout here.
So is this okay? So this might. I don't even know what you call that.
I think that just might be 3 match.
It might be. That just might be their rules it's probably a Meg call for AJ Terrell at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a I think really good play offense and defense here. They cover. I think what stands out to me here is 11. Jalen Walker drops back, and then he's immediately looking for any kind of crosser, and he just walls it off. I think that's Shavers who's running across, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Nowhere to go.
Just... and then that forces the other. I think this is some kind of mesh, and that forces the drag route from the tight end to then go under it, and usually the offense is trying to create traffic that the defense has to go through, but I think your defense kind of recognizes it in advance here and does the opposite. They create traffic the offense has to go through.
Yeah, love that. Let's see. I want to see this from the end zone.
Is that Dunkin' Iced over there?
No, Coke Zero from McDonald's. Your boy needs to stop eating fast food. All right, let's see. So you can see the defensive checks happening, right? Because they're 4 strong. He's going to bump out. This is why I think it is a match, because when he initially widens out, Bates comes down. And he's communicating with Diablo.
But then Bates ends up being in the rush. Oh, yeah. So then when the back goes and they reset to their initial.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. So I think he's just communicating who's blitzing and who's dropping based on where the running back is positioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
This is the tough part about go ahead. Sorry.
Well, then that's just that's one of those plays. It's really good plays all around. The offense still kind of beats it with the route concept. You just can't. And even though you get a pressure out of it, the quarterback puts the ball where it needs to be. You just can't complete the play on offense. And that's
exactly
that tiny difference is often where games are won and lost in this league.
It really is a game of inches when you come down to it. And like even in the film, right? Like it's just how football's always been, and people are trying to say it's different, and they're trying to analytical or be hyper analytical and focus on just raw stats when this is the shit that changes games. Not if
And now
someone got 13 yards instead of 11 on a run. You know what I mean? Like it's little things like that.
well, now so you have to punt after that one, which is the third down play. That's what allows you to bring the blitz, and now you're down by a score on the road. So I do wonder
Yep.
if it's too early in a game to abandon anything. You already had a touchdown drive, so I don't think you're going to change a whole lot. But
No.
this becomes a big point in the game defensively, because if you get a stop, now you have a chance to go up 2 scores.
Yep. Let's see what we see here. So Bills try to get back to what they do well, which is run the ball, and they just bring a good run pressure to the backside, or run blitz to the backside. So Caden sees motion. He's going to come down and spike, and forces it back to Onyemata.
I think one of the things that stands out right away about this Atlanta defense is that they really do have speed at the second level. And with their blitzes, they seem to communicate and time them very well.
Mm-hmm.
So that just, if you're fast mentally and you're fast physically, that's going to present problems for the offense, because they have to match that in order to protect the running back or the quarterback or whoever.
Yep. They have to
and you also see it in coverage with the play by Divine Diablo.
Exactly. And what the hell is going on with Deion Dawkins? Is he over the line of scrimmage?
I will say, I know that Deion Dawkins has abnormal stances, and I know that the Bills like to do this, where they will move him with a wider spacing than the rest of the line on run plays to try to get an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like Atlanta looks relatively evenly spaced. I think there's a little bit of an adjustment for him. I wonder if that's just like a tell that they're going to run towards that side.
It might be.
Also, a note here. So whoever is that Pierce over Dawkins who's rushing? You notice he rushes to the inside here, and you got the linebacker behind him rushing to the outside.
Yep.
So, you think there's only going to be... Oh, and then you also have whoever the corner is or safety walk down over Coleman. So you're going to have a maximum of 2 blockers there with 3 guys shooting gaps, trying to shoot gaps, which means you hope that you're going to be able to really create some havoc on the front side of this run play there. And if this is a pass, you're still getting a pressure out of a play action look.
Yeah, and it looks like this is just straight up inside zone. So if it is zone, I don't know why Dawkins sticks with him. He should continue to work out. He'll see Caden. He'll stun inside and get picked up by, I believe that's David Edwards. Get picked up by him. And then you just have a good running surface, and then you're here. Because Coleman's got inside-out leverage. He's just going to stock block him out. And then you have motion here pulling the safeties over. Like, this should hit, but Dawkins just gets stuck. And then Edwards doesn't see Caden, and then McGovern loses his block.
And this is that quickness. The Falcons get to their spots before the Bills can get there.
Yep.
And blow it up. Yeah, Dawkins needs to pass that off to the guard and get to the linebacker, I think.
Yeah.
They just don't. They bring it late, so it's hard to recognize.
Exactly. Unless this is like a weird way to run duo. Because it is technically going to the backside. But it doesn't look like a duo blocking.
No, this is 100% inside zone. And like, if you go back to the formation real quick.
The sideline view?
Or no, where you just were is perfect.
God damn it.
But you'll see, like, if you're lining it up pre-snap, you're gonna say your left tackle is gonna block the end, and your left guard is gonna try to climb to that linebacker. Problem is the linebacker ends up blitzing into the gap where the tackle is supposed to be blocking, and it just, if you're able to catch something like that early, you can adjust. But you have to make that adjustment on the fly and pass things off. Ideally 76 is going to hit the tackle and then get to the second level on Caden Ellis. But when Ellis goes to the outside of the end, that's where
it's supposed to be Dawkins' block. Yeah.
And then really good play.
Yeah, that's just a great run stunt to this. Good tendency. All right, so now we should be in the second quarter, which we're 45 minutes in. So
there might need to be a part 2 of this.
There might be, and that's okay. We'll do 2 parts of this. We can try to run through. Here we go. We got empty, 2nd and 10. Buffalo needs to make something happen.
Does it give you the personnel grouping for the offense?
This looks like running. It looks like 11 personnel based on what I'm seeing. Because you got, I think this is Ty Johnson, you got Knox, and then you have Coleman, Khalil, and Shavers. Because I think, or no, Palmer's in there.
Yeah, I think. Is this where? He's not. We're not quite where he gets hurt yet.
No, he gets rolled up on by an offensive lineman. It looked really bad on tape, or at least on film. Okay, so here, Watts is rolled down. They're starting in 1 high. So most people would think this is either going to be cover 1 or cover 3 of some sort. Let's see what they choose to run here.
Cover 1, I think.
I think this might be a match because no one is running after their guys on the bottom, but they are at the top.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I also think they might just make a mistake on the coverage at the bottom because no one really takes the running back when he goes in. They honestly might just play match to what do you call it? Well, no, I think this is probably just
boundary.
I think this is probably just their match rules. Is that to the boundary when it's just 2 guys over there, they're going to play man, and they're going to play zone to the bottom.
Zone on the backside. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why you're going to see D. Alford go take the outside shade because he knows he has inside safety help. Yep. So he wants him to run to the post safety on this.
Versus the outside corner on that side is going to play inside leverage because the sideline's your friend there.
Yep, exactly. The 12th defender is the sideline, as a lot of defensive coaches say.
There's a great clip I love from an old mic'd up Patriots Ravens playoff game where I think it's Matt Elam, if you remember him back in the day.
Oh yeah.
He misses a tackle on Danny Amendola. They come to the sideline and Terrell Suggs told him the sideline ain't never missed a tackle.
Yep. I love that. All right, let's see. I don't think we're going to really be able to see it from here, but I want to see how Terrell makes this play. So again, just a straight up 4-man pressure.
And you're the quarterback, you're just picking a matchup that you want to test, which I don't know why the matchup you want to test is Keon Coleman against AJ Terrell, but
that might have just been a call from the booth from Joe Brady, be like, look, like if Keon's got 1-on-1, take a shot. I think they want to get him involved.
That's why they drafted him, is because you're hoping he can make some of those contested catches.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not there right now.
No, he's not, but he will be. Hopefully he'll get there.
Hopefully.
But earlier we talked about 4-man fronts. That last play we saw was 4-man front. Now they're back to the 5-man. Except now instead of traditional 5-man where it's, maybe 3 defensive tackles and 2 edge guys, it's 1 edge, 2 edge, 2 walked up backers and a nose.
Which this is third and 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Falcons have been not afraid at all to get into some exotic looks on 3rd down.
Nope.
And they put some real speed out there.
And
I feel like we've had a real rotation with pass rushers too.
And I think a lot of that is opened up by Jalen Walker. His versatility is unreal. Okay, let's see.
And then the corner comes in on the blitz.
Nice little corner blitz. And Khalil Shakir is Khalil Shakir. He's so good after the catch.
Yeah. So you basically you've done everything you wanted to do out of this play. You blitz on 3rd down, ideally because you want to get home and get a sack. But especially on 3rd and long, you're blitzing because you want the ball to come out fast, and then you want the defense to rally and make a tackle short of the sticks. You get, almost all the way there. They just don't make the tackle.
Yeah, this looks like. Yeah, it looks like he's going to wall off in the middle. These 2 are going to play inside out with whoever comes in and whoever goes out. So let's say it's this. I doubt it's that, but let's see. So you got man on top. Yep. Jalen Walker coming to play the low hole wall off. You got single high. This is probably just cover 1.
Yeah,
with a low hole robber.
Yeah, or some kind of match variation of that, where like in this look, we've seen a lot of to the backside, we're going to play man, and to the other side, we're going to play some kind of match concept.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that. The ball's out fast. He's catching it 6 yards short of the sticks with 2 defenders between him and the 1st down marker.
Yep. And that's like that's the kind of the hang up when you run coverage like this, is that if they call the right concept against what you're calling, as it is in all football, this kind of just sounds obvious, but you're going to leave yourself open to a lot of spacing because you got man on man here, you got the deep safety here. These corners see both these routes going vertical. It doesn't matter where they're going, but they're pushing them vertical. So they're like, okay, we have to bail. So now you have a mismatch with Jalen Walker and Khalil Shakir. And what happens. Makes a really good play, makes two guys miss, makes a third miss, and gets the first down on a must-have. Not that every third down isn't must-have, but that was a big one.
Well, you look at situational football-wise, when you're already up a touchdown in a game like this is the point where you really want to take control of the game. So it's like situationally, that's a big play. You're in 3rd and long. You don't know how many 3rd and longs you're going to get against Josh Allen in a game. So you want to convert on as many of those as you can, especially when, it's an opportunity to extend a lead for you.
Yep. Let's see.
There's that drift route.
He's coming from here. It's a good play fake too with the polar. That's a seed of a ball.
Yeah, I think this is the play where he got hurt, right?
Yeah. Maybe. All right, let's see. I just want to see coverage, what they're doing, because I believe they bring. Yeah, they just bring 4.
Man. Yeah, this is just man.
Yeah, this is strict. This is cover 1.
Yeah. Oh wow, Jesse Bates. I didn't realize Bates almost gets to that. He ends up being a whole defender is probably not the right term for this, but he's just sitting underneath.
He's the robber or the thief, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And he presses that front. Oh yeah, so this is here's another thing that's very popular in the NFL right now is the half roll. So here, if we pause for a second. So we're gonna watch. Can you circle 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, where's my marker? There. Oh, the God, that was horrible.
Yeah, that's 3. So you're going to see Allen's going to start to roll out to the near side, and watch the way the safety reacts. He's going to start to go to that side, and then Allen stops. So they act like they're going to roll him all the way out, but then it's a half roll. He stops there, and Bates has come all the way down there, and that throwing lane is going to end up being kind of where he just was with that route coming across.
Yeah, because Bates traveled from here out to here. So if he was sitting, right? Because Allen may not be able to roll anyways because Walker's got outside. You got Caden going outside. He might have a lane up the middle, but then Diablo's there, right? So that's the tricky part. But because Bates gets pulled out, that's a great ball. Oh,
Bates is a very good player. That's a Pro Bowler right there. It's just, this is a lot of, I think we're seeing a lot of strength on strength right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also, now you're back to 1st and 10. You have to respect the possibility of the run there. You got the guard pulling, which you have to think about, and you just have to defend. Yeah, you have to defend multiple things at the same time there, which puts defenders in conflict, and even great players aren't going to make the right decision in the right play every time.
Like,
still, he almost gets there.
Yeah. And then let's see this unfortunate.
Man. Yeah. The way that Bates gets moved by that half roll really does end up being huge.
Oh, come on.
No video is available for this play.
Thank you, NFL Pro. All right, let's see. Where were we? You would think I would have this queued up by now, but whatever. That was
the 1st and 10 dig to.
That was him, right? Yep. Okay, so I'll go next. Imagine we have to end the stream there just because they don't have any more tape.
Oh, there we go.
That'd be horrible. There we go. Okay. Put this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. So 1st and 10 out of the injury timeout. Past midfield for the second time in the game. Nice little toss. But they just string it out really well. Okay. Just a good play by Jalen Walker. He's going to be so good once he gets a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, edge is not that it's relatively new to him, but like, he didn't really play it a lot until last season.
it also stands out to me. You watch Mike Hughes, who's going to be the corner on the play side here, and he does a good job of keeping force, not letting James Cook get to the outside here. He
Yep.
just does
Stays
enough
over the
with
top.
Shakir. Yeah.
That's a great play. D. Alford's able to run the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
nowhere for Cook to go.
They're putting on a run defense clinic this game.
And I think
There's
what's
Roberts
interesting is
again.
that this is a Bills team that does want to bully you with their front, and this is a Falcons team that isn't necessarily a big defense. So they're winning with, smarts here and quickness. They're not winning necessarily by going through guys. So the Jalen Walker does go through a guy there. They're also winning by just getting to the point of attack first.
Mm-hmm. And just using their speed and athleticism to make plays.
Yeah, that was a really nice play by Jalen Walker. I was high on him this year. I liked him a lot.
Yep.
My comp for Jalen Walker is he's like I kind of compared him to what Dante Hightower was in
Yep.
some ways.
Dante was a great player. Did a lot of what Jalen's doing in this game, right? Like played more of that traditional off-backer role, but could step up when he needed to. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like Jalen, they're keeping him on the line of scrimmage a lot this season.
And that was with Jalen Walker as a prospect. A lot of the discussion was like, all right, is he going to be big enough to play edge full time, or is he going to be off the ball backer on the edge? And what I'm seeing here, he looks like an edge defender. And if he's an edge defender, that's another tier up for what he can give you.
Absolutely. This looks like, is this match or is this zone?
Another match, and it's got to be a match coverage of some kind.
Yeah, because Caden's going to run this all the way out to pick up the rail route, and he's going to come underneath. I believe that's Terrell.
Or is this? This isn't one robber, is it?
It might be because Watts is sitting underneath everything. But then Diablo doesn't have his eyes on the crosser here. Like he comes back to it.
I think that's just a version of 3 match.
Yeah. Yeah, because
they definitely seem to play versions of 3 match where the rules to the side with 2 eligibles are different than the rules to the side with 3 eligibles, which I think is why some of these coverages look a little bit, they're hard to decipher even when we can sit here and go see everything in slow-mo. Now imagine being a quarterback trying to do this when you
trying to do this full speed, yeah.
Yeah, when you don't have the overhead view.
No. All right, let's see. And they just bring regular pressure and they get to their stun angles. Nice job. And this is like when people watch pass rush clips and they watch one-on-ones, like, yeah, it's cool, but pass rushing as a unit is massive and understanding where everyone else is. And we talk about a lot in pass rush and defensive stuff, your pass rush quadrant, where let's say you're bringing 4 every play. The guys, whoever ends up rushing the edge, is trying to attack the back shoulders of the quarterback. So if he's a righty and his right shoulder's back, they're trying to get to his right shoulder. And the interior guys are trying to get to his front shoulder, which would be his left shoulder. And that could happen in multiple ways. So if you watch these 2 D tackles in tandem, this is not a stunt by design. But because of their pass rush angles, like Anyamata thinks he can win inside. Ruke is like, okay, he went inside, let me replace. So now, but if he doesn't, and he stays here, Allen's going to step up and have this huge rushing lane.
Yeah.
But instead, now he's got to step up to where Anyamata is, and it results in a sack.
And I think you also got to give the shout out here just to the way they work together to finish the play. Josh Allen's a hard player to bring down, and the first guy in doesn't make the tackle, but he slows Allen down, and the second guy is able to get there and finish it off. Which
absolutely,
you need. And I think you look at a lot of the best quarterbacks in the game today, especially Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. They're hard to bring down in the pocket. And it's one thing to get a pressure on them. It's another thing to make it a sack. You compare this to the play earlier in the game where Allen steps up and scrambles up the middle. Much better discipline to stay in your lanes. He tries to step up and recreate that, and it's just not there because the line takes it away.
Yeah.
Coverage and your coverage and your rush working together. That's what makes a good defense.
Absolutely. When those are married up. Oh, yeah. They ran this earlier. They run this overload blitz, and I think Ebiketie or Ellis is the one that's going to bail on this.
And this is again third and medium, third and long. Yep. So I can tell you from what we've seen of this defense so far, you do not want to have to play in third and pass against them because they're going to bring something that's going to be hard to block.
Yep. And again, this is just going to be a sim. Like they're bringing 5, so it's technically not a sim. But again, look, Spencer Brown has no one to block because they simulated the pressure with Ellis and with Walker or Ebiketie. Ebiketie bails on the rail. Ellis takes underneath. And then you bring this overload blitz with Alfred and Walker to the top.
Yeah.
And Diablo.
You get 2 unblocked out of it.
So he's going to stun in. He's going to hold. Diablo's coming over. Pierce is widening his man out, and he's coming in. And then it's just these two on these two downhill.
Yep. And then I think, if I'm reading this out correctly, I think his hot here is supposed to be either 14. I think it's 14.
Shavers.
Yeah. Or no, but it can't be because they're trying to run mesh. He's looking for someone to intercept there. Yeah, this is... I don't think there's a hot read built into that play because that looks like mesh with 2. You got the rail to one side, but it's still a wheel route to the other. Like it's meshed with 2 rails.
Well, they ran a switch concept to that side. That was the other piece of it. So there's not even a hot read because it's not even your traditional rail. They're just running a switch because I think Shakir's going to come out, and then I think it was Coleman is the other guy. He's going to come underneath it.
Well, that's why I was like, it's not like Shakir's running basically just that wheel route to the other side. So you get those 2 verticals up the sides. And I think in an ideal world, you're telling the quarterback here, you want to throw into the blitz. You want to throw where the pressure is coming from, replace the blitz, they say. So yeah, I think if he hits Shakir here, you can probably pick it up. The problem is this play looks like it's designed to go to the other side. So by the time Allen gets his eyes back over to where the open receiver might be, there's 3 guys on him full speed, and you just can't do it.
Yeah, what you're going to get is Knox going to sit on the spot, Shavers is going to run the drag, and Ty Johnson's going to run the rail. So his read is this side regardless, but I think the other reason his eyes come here immediately is he sees Ellis walked up, Diablo shaded, Ebiketie's here, and he knows based on the protection, there's only going to be 2 guys for those 3. Yeah. So by the time he catches it, he sees a black jersey. He sees a black jersey. Okay, so his mind is probably thinking, shit, here comes the blitz. But then when he realizes it, he's like, okay, he's dropping. Let me look backside. Look who's right in his vision.
And there's 2 guys. And then it's Josh Allen goes into escape mode here. We talked about him being hard to bring down. He's trying to get around the edge and create some time to hit someone down the field. That's a really good job. I think that was Pierce who was on the edge there to get up the field, like you said, attack that back shoulder to make sure there's no escape lane there. There's no. You look at Allen and Lamar Jackson. I think are 2 guys who are very good at escaping out of the back of the pocket and getting around the contain rush because they're really good athletes. And Pierce is a good enough athlete and smart enough to get to that spot before Allen can even get there and travel.
Mm-hmm. And I think that athleticism alone, like Pierce showed he could be someone, at least from the tape I watched, is someone who has the tools and has the tool kit and skill set to develop into a really good end. He was just raw in college, right? Like he did some things well, especially in run fit, in my opinion, and everyone kind of labeled him as a pass rusher because of his athleticism. But from what I saw, especially when he had to go inside, his bread and butter was stuffing the run game, at least his final season of college. Before that, he was much more of a pass rusher, but I think that last year he really shored up his run stuff. And now we're getting to see the flashes of pass rush at the NFL level.
Yeah. And now I think this is right after that Bijan Robinson long run.
Yes.
About the complementary football. You get them off the field on a 3rd and long. Now you're up by 2 scores.
Yep.
And now there's a little bit more pressure on the offense.
Counter.
Yeah, I think you do see that right away. Like this look, do they bring a blitz here?
Let's see.
Yeah, they're bringing 5.
Yep.
So like that's, I just think about the situational football aspect of it. The Bills come out in this formation, and you're probably going to want to run blitz it anyway. But when you're up by 2 scores, and you're looking at how successful their blitz has been all night to this point, if you're the defensive coordinator here, I think you're thinking, all right, we think they're going to pass a lot. Blitz has been successful. Let's get to these looks as often as we can.
Yeah. Let's see this from the end zone. They run a weird version, not a weird version, but like kind of a new meta version of counter, where typically in counter you have a guard pulling and then either the tight end or a fullback in this case coming and they're walling up and they're leading through. They change it up where they put the tight end in motion. Now he's going to be the kick man and then he's going to wall up like he normally does. So this is a cool way to run counter. A little offensive tape here, but you're going to get everyone's going to wash down front side here. You're going to get the double up to this backer, cut off. He's probably going to go to try to get a touchdown block. And then off his motion, he's here and he's here up the middle. So let's see. Yeah.
It's a really well-designed play.
And this is a good job by Cook being patient.
Yeah. And he kind of presses the front side there. And then he's, quick in a telephone booth there, high traffic area, and just able to kind of move through it with ease.
Yeah, and this is why gap integrity is such a massive thing. Because right now, if everyone plays this the way they're supposed to, you're going to have, I think this is Roberts. Roberts is going to be in the A. Dorless is going to be in the B. You have, I believe this is Leonard Floyd's going to be out here to force everything inside. And then you have Diablo for one polar, Ellis for the other polar. Someone should be coming in making the play. Maybe it's Watts helps pick up the polar and Ellis slips underneath. Maybe one of the ends squeezes backside, but he sees the zone block, pass block out. So they want to influence them upfield to get this natural cutback here. But what happens is
the backside A gap there.
Exactly. What happens is Dorless, who I liked coming out of college, gets his ass kicked on this play. And now what happens? Ellis is late to see it. Diablo has to overcorrect for Dorless not penetrating his gap. And here's that huge cutback lane.
Yep.
Boom. Right there. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just a shame they couldn't get a better block on Ellis. Because that would have sprung big time. One more guy does his job. All right. We're going to try to run through this a little bit quicker just because we're an hour in. We're not even halfway through the second quarter. This is why I love defense, because there's so much it's so much more offense is easy to dissect because a lot of it's just, common pass schemes, common rules between offenses. There's some variance and nuance here and there, but typically it's all the same. Defense, it's even crazier. There's a lot more nuance to it. So let's see. Yeah, this is just
another one of those cutbacks.
Yeah, Ellis doesn't seem like he's getting downhill as quick as he should. I wonder what his key is. Yeah, because that's really late. Let's watch one more time. Okay, cool. Let's watch end zone real quick, and then we can kind of blaze through this. I know run game is not super fun to dissect defensively for some people, but yeah, Dorless again just gets blown up by the double team. And Ellis is late to react. Ellis, it realistically should be a little bit more downhill, depending on his key. But Dorless getting washed down does not help his readout at all.
No. You're able to get a hat on a hat there at the second level, which is usually, by the way, for some context here, so I was curious. James Cook is second in the NFL in rushing yards. Right now, he's only behind Jonathan Taylor. Bijan Robinson's third, too. So we're watching. Yeah. Cook's on pace right now for over 1,500 yards this year.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
And the touchdowns are still there.
And then Jonathan Taylor still ahead of him. Jonathan Taylor has over 600 yards already, which is insane. I don't know if did you do a Colts one yet?
I have not.
Might have to be, especially Colts Chargers this week. If that game ends up being good, that could be an interesting.
That might be the first run game dissection we do.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's a good play fitting from depth by 31 there.
Was that Watts? Yeah.
Yeah. because you're too high. I mean, it's not when they play these two. Like Atlanta clearly does not think the Bills are going to beat them deep. When you look at their safety depth,
Nope.
I mean,
And look, I wouldn't either. You don't really have a deep threat. Like, yeah, Palmer made a nice deep play, but since then you haven't had anything deep.
do you know who would make a lot of sense for this offense? I think
Trade candidate, Waddle.
Waddle or Chris Olave.
Olave would be good for this offense.
Yeah, Olave is who I was thinking.
They just need so much more help on defense.
When I think, yeah.
Nice job, Watts.
That's a really nice job to fill that hole and then finish the play.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. All right, 2nd and 8. So you've run 3 plays in a row, and you finally got stuffed on that one, or at least stopped. Let's see what they do here. Again, here's that sim pressure. And you got Diablo running the spy. Nice job, Caden. All right,
I'm not
so there's
sure why Allen really should have kept running that because he had room to run. I don't know why he stops.
So they're going to show like it's 0 because these guys all walk up, but then you're going to get the late rotation from Watts. Okay. This is probably going to be cover 1 or cover 3 of some kind. You get the sim pressure, you send, and Diablo's going to bail. Okay. So you're still normal 4-man rush. This is just man with a whole player / spy. Yep.
And at this point, no Josh Palmer. You're missing him.
Yeah.
He gives you someone who, is a solid receiver who, when you extend a play, you hope he's either going to be able to get open or give you an opportunity to throw a contested ball.
I really like if Keon could get to where Josh Palmer is right now. And I'm not saying like Josh Palmer is better than him, but Josh Palmer just has so much experience and knows how to play that type of role of that last outlet, just go up and get it. If Keon can figure out how to do that with the skills he already has, he's going to be really solid. But we haven't really seen anything from him in that respect. Nice. Okay.
That's a really good job from Ellis of
rush.
The rush doesn't keep contained, and he's able to beat Josh Allen to, the spot he wants to get to.
Yep. Let's see. Okay, so they go back to that. So 3rd and 3. Gotta have it. What do they do?
Mesh rail.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, that's where. This is what, the 4th third down we've seen from the Bills, and we've seen them run some variation of mesh rail twice.
So what? He's going to get out. He's under. He's going to sit in the spot. We're going to get this, and then we're going to get the wheel.
I think.
Okay, let's see.
The back stays into protect.
Yep.
So you end
up he does.
Yeah.
Did this get tipped?
No, I think this is a. Oh, did it? I can't remember from the live.
Yeah, because this was a bad throw.
Well, and the other thing too with these mesh, I don't know. You got a backup receiver in there, and whether or not you're sitting this down, I think he's supposed to sit that down. The other receiver sits it down.
He sees zone, so he should sit faster than he does. Let's see.
Yeah, Josh Allen's trying to throw it to him in a spot where he should be just wait. Yeah, he's open there. Just stop and wait for the ball.
Oh, did this hit Ellis's helmet?
Oh, is this that one?
I think it hits his own blocker's helmet because it's a good bull rush.
That's what it is. I still think that probably ends up as an incompletion either way. Yeah. I also don't think Shavers was looking for the ball.
He wasn't. No.
That's if you watch him, he's one right there. You got to be looking for the second that those two receivers cross each other, the ball can come to you. So you need to be, especially against zone. Well, let's see, go forward just a little bit. Right around here, he should be aware based on this that this is zone already, and you should know I'm getting across and I'm sitting. You should know that here.
You should have to know that. What are they running defensively? This looks like match of some kind.
Some kind of cover 3 match, that's my guess.
Yeah, they love their cover 3 matches.
They really do. And
He goes. They exchange this. He's got kind of man coverage on the backside.
And the concept works. It gets the guy open, but it's the combination of, injuries. You got a backup receiver in there with the rush getting home enough to affect the play.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So 1st and 10, 2-minute drill. They motion to 4 strong. Get a nice quick completion to Coleman. Nice. Okay, let's see what they do defensively. So they bring 4. Is that cover 3 match again? Because in typical cover 3, Hughes would be running here, and then one of these two would be going to the flat. Probably, I think that's Watts here. Okay. Then you would have deep, you would have flat, under, and he's the deep post. But because it's match, he's got to respect the out, and then Watts will, if anything goes vertical, he will carry it.
Well, I'm going to guess this is going to be mod cover 3.
Yep.
Based on that, right?
Yep. That's beautiful. Good stop.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of the fact that Khalil Shakir seems to be the only guy in this offense who can break a tackle in the receiving room. And they had no Dalton Kincaid for this game either, right?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Nice little stunt at the top.
Like, just look at how much spread the Bills are going to here all of a sudden. And all right, you're down by 2 touchdowns on the road, so you don't feel like you can go to your running game as much. You have to spread it out, but you've got 2 of your top targets out.
Yep.
And this is just kind of what that looks like. There's just not a lot of guys to throw to.
Nope. And again, they run another cover 3 match. They run a stunt here where they run the D tackle up to take up these 2 blockers. They bring Pierce inside. He's going to muck up the middle just to kind of hold these 2 here to give Pierce a lane. Floyd's going outside, and then it's man match, right? Or 3 match. So if his guy goes out, he'll go with it. If he does, he'll go with it. And then you got the same thing at the top. Okay. And then you'll have these 2 guys sitting low in the hole, and he's vertical. Yep. That's got to be the most called coverage this game, right? Cover 3 match.
Some version of it, yeah. And then, like, on a play like this, it's also about the DB making the play. Because this is an incompletion, right?
Yeah, that was an incompletion.
He closes that space and just gets to ball.
We can come back and look at it maybe a little later, but I just want to run through this at this point. Another sim pressure. Oh, is this man?
He definitely gets away with little contact at the top of that one. I can see the jersey stretch from here.
Jesus. All right, so you're going to see another sim pressure here, okay, where we're going to see Pierce and Diablo drop out, and you're going to get these 4 here, okay? Mm-hmm. And I believe this is man, but let's see what everyone else does.
I think it's another match coverage.
Just another match, and
this is how much have we seen this from the Falcons in this game? The single wide receiver side, it's going to be man on man, and it's going to be some kind of match coverage to the backside, and you're mixing a couple sim pressures with it.
Let's see how the safeties rotate. Yeah, Bates comes down, Watts goes back. Yep, beautiful.
That should be a first down.
Should be, absolutely, but it's Keon Coleman, so it's not. Unfortunately,
and part of that's like Coleman's a physical receiver. He's going to get handsy with it, so you're going to get a little bit you're going to get fewer calls there as that type of receiver because you've decided that you'd like to get open by playing physically. So if the defender plays physically back to you, they're not going to call it as much.
Yep. All right, so let's see this.
This is right before the half. Yeah, 15 seconds left.
Yep. That's just a really good play by Alfred. Alfred was not good last year, and it seems like in this tape he's been in the right place at the right time in this game. Let's see.
Well, and part of this too, like he's running this route like he's trying to find the soft spot in his zone. Like he slows up on that. Part of that, the throw is behind him. I think Allen almost thinks he's trying to, like you'll see there's a hole player on the other side, and I think Allen's trying to fit it in that gap, and there's just not enough space there, which gives the corner enough time to undercut.
Yeah. And it's late. Like if he wanted to hit this, it was the pressure was there though. Watch. If he winds up to throw and he's like, shit, I can't get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, he wants to go to the top side here. And that's the other thing. Like I think this is for Keon Coleman on that in and out corner route there. And the corner just stays over the top of that route and you can't throw it, so he has to come back. And I don't like you see double ins to the backside. I like that. But if you're gonna have double ins to the backside of something, like that throw has to go to 14, because by the time you're gonna get to this, the whole player is going to be taking away the first in route.
Yep.
And that's just, you're trying to force a play. Again, we talk about the situation here. It's end of a half. You're down by 2 scores. You're trying to see if you can get any kind of big play to get one score before the half. Try to kick a field goal or set yourself up for a Hail Mary or something. And he's just not like, you're in attack mode here. This is one of the things that make Josh Allen so good, is that he can make plays like that, but you can't always turn off that part of your brain. And
no, can't always.
Now we're into the second half here.
Yeah, second half.
It doesn't end up costing you, but
no, exactly. But again, for the watchers at home, guess what coverage that was? Gee, I wonder. It was cover 3 match once again. So it looks like based on the first half, if you want to beat the Bills and you can run cover 3 match relatively well, that should be your base call against these guys. Okay, so what's their first opening call? They come back to the run game and to get some good yardage. Nice job. Let's see. So he goes away. They've been running this motion a lot. Okay, so let's see what happens inside. Nice. Decent run. I want to see this from the end zone. Was this duo? Or is this just inside zone again?
That looks like inside zone.
Yeah. Well, because my only reasoning is that if it is inside zone, you would think they would be double here, up, double here, up, and then you would have a cutoff here. But that's a tough block. So maybe it's out, out. You still get a double here. He's got to scoop block this. Yeah. Here. And then they're here. But
you also got 40. You've also got 41 who can climb to the second level here.
Well, he gets motioned out.
Yeah.
So he's not on the blocking surface. That's why I think it's duo, because he scoop blocks, he scoops. You get these two here trying to get to this guy.
But if 41's coming back across, are they almost considering this like a form of split zone to try to like take away the backside defender there with the motion?
The thing is, his motion gets so. It would be like if he snapped it here.
Yeah.
But he clears completely. He's not worried about kicking this end out.
Yeah.
That's why it's duo.
The end reacts like it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Not bad. All right, let's see this here. So they bring him in from the split. So they got 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 strong, technically, depending on where Cook goes. Like if he flares out here, it's 4 strong. Let's see what they call. They motion him back. Okay. Again, here's that same counterplay we saw earlier.
That really is the bread and butter for this Bills offense.
Yeah. They motion him. And after the motion, he's going to come up and kick someone out. Gillum's going to lead up. Jab step here. Boom.
The Bills do a really good job of getting multiple lead blockers into these runs.
They do. And what's funny to me is that I feel like anytime they've been in this formation, they have not tried to run to the B gap to the strength at all.
Yeah, because it's like the default play on this. Like if you're going to run ISO, it's going to be through that B gap with the fullback right on Ellis. Yeah, and they're just not trying that. They're all in this direction.
Here, out, you're going to get here. He's going to get Ellis here. And then you're hoping this double team is good enough to get in Bates' way, and you're just, boom, straight up the hole.
Yeah. But now the the Bills do a really good job. Like they keep going to these counter looks and they keep going to the backside, but they had the way their counters work to get linebackers flowing and open up things to the backside of plays too is really good. And this is really
That's a nice play behind Yamada.
this feels like strength on strength across the board with one exception, and that's the Bills receivers against Atlanta's secondary.
Yep.
And I obviously
Which
knowing
is,
how this
if
game
you
goes,
said-
that feels like the difference.
If you said this a year ago, like if this is Atlanta's secondary last year, I think the Bills win this handedly.
Well, in
But-
Atlanta's, front seven. Atlanta's front seven was not good last year.
No. So now that the pass rush is better, the secondary can play looser, and that's allowing them to play a lot faster and downhill.
Yeah.
Nice little spot route.
Again, there's only one receiver who I trust in this offense right now, and that's Khalil Shakir, and there he is.
Yep.
And you get him on a safety.
Yep. So let's see. Is this again? This looks like another cover 3 mat. Oh, they do.
Yep,
they
this
bring
is-
pressure on this.
I think this is just a cover 1 blitz.
Okay, let's see.
I think Caden Ellis is this is just a cover 1 blitz.
Yep. So
And
why is Bates taking so long to get down to this then?
Because leverage is my guess.
Probably.
If you come down too fast, you're going to get beat over the top, and you want
True.
to keep the play in front of you. Especially, a blitz like that, you're also counting on the ball coming out quick, and you're probably just
Yep.
waiting to see, where am I triggering here? Where am I driving to try to beat the ball to the receiver? And,
Let's see. There's that motion away again. There's duo again. Second one. This is a good play to run. Okay. This just blocked really well. Rookate gets completely taken out of his gap here. 98. See. Like everyone on defense does what they're supposed to do. Like we'll go to the end zone view.
and how many are the 2nd and 1? So it's a successful run.
Yeah. Because you're gonna get, and this is why like I like Pierce, like his run skills are getting better. He's gonna trigger off the shoulder and immediately squeeze down while still getting blocked from the outside. Like, and he's still trying to split this double team.
Yeah.
Right? If Rook holds his block, this is getting stuffed. But not holds his block, but holds his own against it.
Well, then even then, it's still not a massive run. It's a successful play, but that's a 3-yard rush,
Yeah.
Any other circumstance, but down and short yardage, you're happy with that outcome. But
All right. 1st and 10 at the 46 going in. What do you think the coverage call is going to be here?
if they're in too high, I'm going to guess they're going to rotate into 3 match.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it comes.
There's a rotation. Now they
Then
switch the
rotate
rotation, come
Oh,
back.
my
Yep.
goodness.
Oh wow, it's 3 match. Who would have thought?
That actually just might be one.
Let's
one
see.
hole. Or one robber.
Oh, does Shavers escape through the B gap on this?
Or the C gap there.
Yeah, see. And he just sits
Yeah.
and waits. Okay. Yeah, this is
Which
just
is
straight
so
up
different.
cover 1.
No, that has to be match, I think, if he's going through there. Because if this is man, if that's straight up man, then 24 is going to come down to fill that.
Yeah.
But
then
because
they're
this
gonna-
is a match, and this is a great match beater because 24 does no.
Yeah, he goes with it, but look, he comes from outside in. So maybe
Yeah.
it is.
Regardless, with what the Falcons like to do, this is a great answer for it because that late release through the inside, you're either going to get with match coverage, a matchup with a safety or a linebacker, or you're going to get a corner out leveraged.
Yeah. I think this is cover 1 because their backs are turned and Bates was here to pick this up.
Yeah.
So if it was match, he would have just kept dropping and let Bates have it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. And look, Caden's trying to cover all that ground. So this is cover 1.
Yep.
So cover 3 match and cover 1 seem to be their base calls with a little bit of quarters mixed in.
Mm-hmm. And then exotic stuff on 3rd down.
Mm-hmm. All those fun overload blitzes with sim pressure.
But they play a lot of cover 3 match out of 2 high looks.
Mm-hmm.
and they play their safeties close together, close to the line of scrimmage, which I'm going to guess is partially because you're playing the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a Patriots fan looking at this, the Patriots have some speed at receiver right now, and I think the first thing I'm thinking if I'm Josh McDaniels is how can I get Stephon Diggs or Pop Douglas or Kyle Williams matched up on one of these safeties in one of their match looks down the field, especially when they're starting that close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But I do think
they'll be
another
able to
part of
take
this,
advantage of that.
do think another reason why the Falcons can get away with playing their safeties so shallow is just the front seven's playing really well here.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the time to throw over the top, you don't have to cover deep.
You don't have to. Absolutely not. And it's like, again, it can't be overstated enough how this used to be one of the worst front seven units for a long time. Like, not worse, but like year over year, like there was no threat of pass rush, outside of like Grady Jarrett, right?
Yep.
Vic Beasley that 1 year for whatever reason.
And that's Vic Beasley has one good year and they go to the Super Bowl off of
yes.
And if the Falcons win that Super Bowl against the Patriots, Grady Jarrett might win Super Bowl MVP because he had a couple massive sacks in it.
He did. Yeah.
It's just, but outside of that, and this is, if we go by, points allowed, Falcons are top 10 right now. They're 7th. This is the first time that they have been in the top 10 as a defense for that since 2017. And the last time they were in the top 10 before that, you got to go back to 2012, 2010. But you're looking at a lot of crooked numbers outside of those.
Yeah.
Seasons. They're usually in the 20s, occasionally in the 30s.
Yeah.
And they're first in yards allowed right now. Have the Falcons?
That's crazy.
The Falcons have never finished a season first in yards allowed defensively.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it is believable, but it's like to never finish first, and they've had X amount of guys who were studs on this defense.
Yeah, this is the only defense I can see in Falcons history that I would say definitively is better is back in 1977. They finished first in points and second in yards. They also went 7-7 because they were 25th on offense. Didn't even make the playoffs.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Thank God they have Bijan.
And Drake London.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Again, they just run not backside, but they ran this 2 plays in a row where they motion the inside bunch man across, and then you get this fold block from Shavers up inside. Some people call it insert. I'm going to call it a fold. And he's just going to run up and get the apex player. So they know they've been running these cover 3 matches. So now they want to get guys in motion, guys moving backside. And now they can exploit the front side.
Can you go back to right when he starts that block, like when he starts to insert? So I'm gonna make right there. All right. So now I'm gonna make a Patriots note here. For anyone who watched the Patriots Saints game this past Sunday, so the Patriots ran a version of this where the receiver, I think in this case it was Mac Hollins, is going to insert like that, and you got the tight end blocking, but it's play action. And what they do out of it, because the receiver comes in, that they have the receiver's going to do that, and the tight end's just going to run right out into the flat. And because, that player who's come down there to take on Shavers now has to be in coverage on the tight end who's running to the out, and you get a leverage advantage. And
that's awesome.
Patriots do this to the front side, so they get Drake May rolling to the right as part of it, and he's just in space, 3rd down, easy conversion. So I see some of this against Atlanta, and I'm like, all right, what's Josh McDaniels going to do? I think you're probably going to end up seeing a play like that. We'll see I'm curious if the Bills try something like that in here.
They probably will later because they're clearly setting a tendency. They just ran it twice in a row, or they ran it 2 times in a row, then came back to it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. And here comes that sprint boot again. Ray Davis is so good. It's a shame Cook is as good as he is because Ray Davis would be. He would be a much bigger contributor if he was in more of a committee.
And he's just fast. I mean, we're going to get a guy in space, and
Mm-hmm.
that 41 coming back across the formation is going to pull defenders at the second level. And the
Yep.
run action pulls them, and then you're just out leveraged with a fast guy in the flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is, again, they want to take advantage of this cover 3 match. This is how you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get all their eyes inside, get them collapsing to the run, which you've been establishing going this way, and then you leak back out to the backside, and now they've been overcorrecting, and now instead of him sitting out here a little bit more, if the run tendency wasn't there, this wouldn't be as open, but now it is.
And then also credit to the quarterback. You need a quarterback who can make that throw while moving and lead the receiver to give him the ability to, use that speed. And you're gonna have a rusher in your face. Jalen Walker plays that all things considered
Perfectly.
pretty well.
Yeah.
And you just need the quarterback who can make that play. And I think if we transition this real quick to if you're evaluating quarterbacks in the NFL today, you need a quarterback where you can move the pocket and do things like this, and he can still make that throw. That's, I think, kind of essential in today's world. Defenses are too good right now to always have a guy in the same pocket who can't move, who's stationary back there.
And I mean, we saw that in the Bengals and Steelers game last night, right? Like
Joe Flacco picking up 12 yards on a run.
On a read option. I love it. And a lot of people think this is like an easy throw because it's like a 5 to 7 yard dump off. But moving Yates to a strong shoulder, he's moving with him, but with the pressure in his face, and he needs to lead it so he beats Watts here. That's a tough throw to make.
Yeah,
and he puts it right where
everyone
it needs
on
to
the
be.
same page. Yeah, you need everyone on the same page, and there's the difference between being like a good quarterback and a great quarterback there too is your ability to lead the back. Unless a worse quarterback makes the throw and connects it, but it's a 10-yard pickup because he's leading the back into traffic a little bit too much.
Yep, absolutely. So now it's 21-14.
I'm expecting
Falcons defense stifles them a lot.
I'm expecting some kind of counter off of this formation right now.
Yep.
Let's see.
Just straight up dive or duo.
So that's the first time I feel like they've just kind of ran it inside to the strong side like that.
Yeah.
Nothing
and again,
fancy.
It's not the same look as earlier because now there is a defender in the B gap, but this is that same under front where he's backside A, backside B, you got C. He's front side B. Okay, let's just try to hit it up the A, and if it's not there, bounce behind the 1, 2, 3, 4-man surface against 1, 2, 3, 4. It's good he finally came back to that and he gets some 9 yards.
Well,
look at this.
They run that to. I think they just run that to the weak, or it's the strong side of the offense there. That's kind of the opposite of what you see in the first possession, where they try to run this into the strength on the first possession, and they come back and just run it to the weak side of the defense.
Yeah,
here.
That's a nice job.
It's a good adjustment. Tough run. Tough finish.
Let's see what happens here. 2nd and 1. Coming up on 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Just a heads up, the battery on my camera is starting to die over here.
So what we're going to do is after this play, because here comes that same counter that we've been talking about. There's the motion. Jackson Haas is going to kick out, and then Gilman's going to come underneath. Good play by Walker. Okay. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and skip ahead, and we're going to go to that final drive.
Yeah.
And we're just going to see what happens. Okay.
Works for me.
I'm sure it works for everyone at home. We're just dissecting the same 3 coverages every single play.
Yeah. And how much time? We're under 2 minutes at this point, right?
Yeah, this is a minute 37. 1st and 10. This is their 2-minute drill. Okay. So
yep. We've got man to the one receiver side, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah, man to the one receiver side. You got a load front here, so either expect some kind of stunt or just straight rushes. Let's see what they do. So Caden Ellis shows late. So now you get that overload with the load look already. So Dorless is going to go backside. They're going to open up the stunt here with the bull rush. Caden's going to go out. He's going to bull rush his man. And then you got that match in the back where he's man on man. He's got low hole. He'll probably take anything that comes into this area. He's going to take the deep. And then these two are just exchanging these routes on this side. Let's see what happens. Yep. takes a deep shot, and they're in perfect position to break it up.
Yeah.
Let's check
One
in the
thing-
end zone.
I know. I think one of the questions that comes to mind watching this game, if I'm going to go watch more Falcons games, how do they handle teams with more skill at the wide receiver position? Because if you're an offensive coordinator watching this too, I feel like you know that if you want to get man coverage for one of your receivers, just put him on the backside and he's going to get a one-on-one.
Yep.
So if you're Josh McDaniels, all right, you're telling me if I put Stephon Diggs on the backside, I can get a one-on-one every time. You're going to take that. So are the Falcons actually going to give that to you, or are they just doing that because it's Shavers or Keon Coleman?
Yeah, it's tough. All right, let's see now. Okay. Late blitz, hook and ladder. That was nice.
Yep.
Okay. So defensively,
This is just cover. Oh, this is just yeah, I think that's a form of cover one blitz they're running there, and they end up like you think that one safety is dropping, but it's actually going to be the other one.
These three go. He comes here. He drops. He's probably got. I wonder what he does here. Does the running back release? Yeah. That's just good play call offensively.
Yeah. Oh, and it's also, I mean, it's a good play call, but it's also like how many yards are you picking up? Yeah. If you're a defense, you're up at 10 points, under 2 minutes left. I don't know if the Bulls have timeouts here, but you'll concede that every time. If the ball's coming out quick, and even if you're stopping the clock, you're only picking up 10 yards at a time, you're going to feel pretty good about that.
Yep. And I think this is a quarters match with a blitz, because you're going to see.
I think this is cover one. I think that safety at the bottom is just, or maybe it's not quarters, but he's going to play over top of that half of the field, and then you get true man on the other side.
Yeah. So maybe it's split again. We've seen a few split coverages. They don't run it a lot, but when they do it, typically it's worked for them. Not on that one. Okay.
You're going to overload with 3 rushers on the same side just to get some one-on-ones.
Okay, let's see what they did here.
Man coverage, I think. This is just cover one.
No, I think this is just 3 match again.
Match?
Yeah, 3 match. Oh man. Hey man, they run it well. What happens here? Oh shit, my bad. Okay. So they bring 5. This is cover 4. This is quarters. And they just leave the middle vacated. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get Diablo blitzing. Alfred's going to take the flat. They're going to take the flat. And then you're going to get bail, and it's going to be match out of it, depending on how the routes go. And the problem is it completely vacates the middle. So you're hoping to win with 5. But if you don't...
Well, the reason you're okay with this too as a defense is because of situation and score. If Josh Allen takes off and runs for 30 yards like he does here, like you're okay with that because you think you're going to get him down in bounds and run the clock.
But they don't.
They just don't execute, getting him down in bounds. And that's why you're okay at running a play like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. So you got trips to the top. They motion back to 2x2. Here's that same load look we saw.
And here comes, you can see the guy walking down for the overload.
There's Caden Ellis. Oh, that's such a good, I don't know how he gets this out.
Yeah. I do think that's another thing that kind of stands out here is the Bill, part of its situation, but the Bills don't really seem to have found a way to pick up or answer those late rotations into a blitz. Yeah. So again, for future offensive coordinators watching this, you're looking for tendencies and tells for when Atlanta brings it, what it looks like before they bring it, so that you have some answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Your answer on something like this, in most situations, is probably going to be some kind of screen or check down on the blitz side, but you can't do that here. So
nope. And again, here's that sim pressure. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 to one side against 1, 2, 3, and because Diablo sits, Osiris is going to sit with him. and now he's blocking no one, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's leaving on the rail. One of these 4 is coming free, which is what happens. Nice
And,
job by Allen.
Defensively, that's essentially a win. You just don't finish it in coverage. The quarterback makes a play.
Exactly. And I believe this is the last play we're going to go over here.
I think this is the pick, right?
Yep. So let's see what they bring. Another sim pressure. I think this is just a weak throw by Allen. Oh, it got tipped.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we talked about all game here. Atlanta's speed at the second level is really impressive. And when he breaks contain, you're able to close that and get a hand on the ball when he's trying to throw. That's hard to work with.
And again, we're going to get that sim pressure, okay? Because you're going to get 51's going to drop out of the box here. I believe that's Malone is going to drop out of the box, and he's going to take the sim. You're going to have these 2 working over and these 2 working here, okay? And then in the back, what are they running? Quarters, it looks like.
Yeah. Which makes sense for things like, in this position, you're going to run a lot of that quarters because you want to make sure that any guy that goes deeper into the end zone is going to have someone on him.
Yep. And that's a good switch up because you were running 3-match, 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 and they run a concept that actually could beat 3-man, where you get kind of smash at the bottom here, and he's just going to stem this up. He's going to cut out, and then you got the backside dig and a one-on-one. In theory, this should beat cover 3 match because his eyes are inside, right? If it was cover 3 match, he'd be rotated out, and his eyes wouldn't be here to this backside dig. And so the backside dig might be open on this, depending on where the defenders go in the match coverage. But it's a good call to switch it up there by Raheem, and it leads to a tip pass, which goes to a pick. And just a great win. This Falcons defense deserved, like, as explosive and good as the offense was, holding the Bills to 14 points when you just allowed 30 to the Panthers a few weeks before this, like, and granted, that wasn't totally the defense's fault. Like, Michael Penix had a bad game, but, like, that's as good as it gets when we're talking about defensive tape. Sticking to what you do, because, like, they didn't run a whole lot of different shit. They just got really good at running a couple of things. They ran their overload pressures, ran their cover 3 matches, mixed in quarters 1 and 0 here and there, and then just went to work.
And I think we look ahead here for Atlanta. The things where the Bills were able to find success, a lot of it came from the quarterback being able to make plays on his own with his legs. Next 2 games here for Atlanta, you play the 49ers, you play the Dolphins. Neither one of those quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, those aren't guys that are really going to beat you with their legs. They're going to call stuff that's going to spread a defense horizontally, but the quarterback run game is probably not going to be part of that.
No.
So I think I like, in theory, what Atlanta can look like against those teams. I think you do worry about San Francisco with if they're able to get the running game going at all, maybe being able to beat you to the sidelines or something. But, like, I don't know, Atlanta's team speed on defense is real. I don't think you're going to beat them going side to side. I think you need receivers who can win against coverage consistently and force them out of their exotic stuff.
And if there's any team that can do that, even with how injured they are, it's the 49ers. And especially in the run game with how good the run blocking is, Kittle's fully healthy for that game. Like, that should be a really good matchup. Offense versus defense. That's going to be a fun game to break down. That might just be a 49ers offensive game, and we'll be able to revisit the Falcons game.
With the 49ers right now, 30th in rushing yards, 32nd in yards per attempt on the ball.
Wow. What's their I wonder what their EPA is per rush. Not that EPA is the end all be all, but
no, these are it's a good. I like to compare and contrast, the volume stats, the averages, and then the value with the EPA.
Mm-hmm.
You put the 3 together to get that full picture.
Absolutely. I don't know why this is. Yeah, because if we look at EPA, the rush EPA, where do they? And of course, I don't know what website you use for EPA. I use RBSDM, and it's just the sorting for me has not been working lately. But regardless.
If I actually have a tip for that for you. Do you see the headers at the top of the screen still when you scroll down?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to click on those.
Oh, duh.
It duplicates the headers. You have to hit the second one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are in rush EPA. They are 27th.
Yeah.
Damn, that's brutal.
We look at this too, by the way. Patriots dead last facing Atlanta in a couple weeks here. Again, interesting.
That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
And funny enough, speaking of interesting, your camera's dying, which I think is a sign that
yes, I think
this
is it.
Yeah, that's a good time to stop. But thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was a little longer than we had anticipated, but they just ran a lot of exotic stuff, and that's why we wanted to cover it. Matt, thank you so much for hopping on.
My pleasure.
For everyone else, if you want to catch more content like this, obviously go to Pat's Pulpit. If you're a Patriots fan and you want to read anything Pats related or listen to the Pats podcast or any Pats podcast, go to Matt. He's on Twitter. Pat's Pulpit will have all the information as well.
On YouTube, we're on the Patriots Press Pass YouTube channel.
Awesome. Beautiful. And we'll link all that in the description below. And then for all House Enterprise content, you can go to thehouse-enterprise.com, find all of our blogs, podcasts. We talk about a lot of stuff on there, from sports to stocks to alcohol to whatever you want. There's a lot of good content on there. And that's going to do it for us. So join us back next week. The poll will go up about Tuesday, and then by Wednesday we'll know what we're doing. So be on the lookout for that. As always, my name's Jordan Labby. Matt, thanks so much for joining, and we will catch you guys next time.